Smoking, the act of inhaling and exhaling the fumes of burning plant material. Smoking is not good for us. The tobacco epidemic is one of the biggest public health threats the world has ever faced. We have known about the dangers of smoking for decades, but how exactly does smoking harm us? With each inhalation, smoke brings its more than 5,000 chemical substances into contact with the body's tissue. From the start, tar, a black resinous material, begins to coat the teeth and gums, damaging tooth enamel and eventually causing decay. Over time, smoke also damages nerve endings in the nose, causing loss of smell. Inside the airways and lungs, smoke increases the likelihood of infections, as well as chronic diseases like bronchitis and emphysema. It does this by damaging the cilia, tiny hair-like structures whose job it is to keep the airways clean. That is one of the reasons smoking can lead to oxygen deprivation and shortness of breath. Within about 10 seconds, the bloodstream carries a stimulant called nicotine to the brain, triggering the release of dopamine and other neurotransmitters including endorphins that create the pleasurable sensations which make smoking highly addictive. Many of the chemicals inside cigarettes can trigger dangerous mutations in the body's DNA that make cancers form. It is not just lung cancer. Smoking can cause cancer in multiple tissues and organs, as well as damaged eyesight and weakened bones. It also can cause erectile dysfunction. That is why smoking harms nearly every organ of the body, causing many diseases and reducing the health of smokers in general.
The first common causes why people or teenagers start to smoke is by peer pressure. The overwhelming majority of adult smokers begin smoking before age of 18, and many were addicted before they even finish high school. So, why do kids pick up that cigarette in the first place? It is because of the peer pressure, where their friends encourage them to try cigarettes and to keep smoking. They see smoking as a way of rebelling and showing independence. To further strengthening their view, they think that everyone else is smoking and that they should too. Most of teenagers simply like to try new things, but they are not matured enough to think of the long-term consequences. They might harm themselves if they keep smoking for a long time in their life.
The next factor that can lead to smoking is through the influence by the film and movie. Smoking in motion pictures affect not only teens but also elementary school students and young adults. Several studies have shown that exposure to smoking in movies predict the risk of becoming an established smoker. Smoking occurs frequently in Hollywood blockbusters. Although tobacco advertising was banned from television in many countries years ago, tobacco use can still be seen across a spectrum of television programming. So we can conclude that exposure to on-screen smoking in movies causes young people to start smoking.
The last factor that causes a person to smoke is due to stress. Severe stress that comes from various reasons can make a person to take cigarettes as a medicine. For example, a student who is feeling stressed due to a lot of work causes him to smoke cigarettes. We all know that smoking is a wrong choice, so don't start smoke due to stress. You can rest for a moment to rest your mind.
Alright, sir. So before we start our interview session, I would like to know what is your name?
My name is Shauki bin Hassan. I am 57 years old.
Alright, thank you. They have some question that I would like to ask you. The first one is, how do you get involved in smoking?
I was started smoking when I was still young. At that time, my friend and I were at a restaurant for dinner, and one of my friends took out a cigarette. So he asked me either I have start smoking or not, and I said I don't smoke, but he asked to try something new. So without thinking about consequences, I started smoking on that day and began to be addicted to cigarettes day by day.
Alright, sir. Now we move to the second question. When do you start and stop smoking?
I started smoking when I was 15 years old and quit smoking at 55 years old, which is 2 years ago.
Next question is, what is the disease that you got throughout your life when you are smoking?
I have lung cancer, which has made it difficult for me to breathe. I was also diagnosed by the doctor that I have a stroke, which convinced me to stop smoking after almost around 40 years of being addicted to smoking.
Last question. Do you have any advice to convince the public to stay away from cigarette?
My advice is don't ever try to smoke if you have never tried smoking, especially if you are young. There are many reasons that make it easy to be influenced to start smoking, but we can choose to not be easily influenced by cigarettes. If you are already get a disease due to smoking, you will regret it for the rest of your life.
Alright, sir. Thank you for your words.
Thank you so much.
There is no point pretending this is all easy to face and achieve. Quitting smoking has immediate as well as long-term benefits, reducing risk for diseases caused by smoking and improving health in general. Not only that, everyone has the right to clean air. We should put it out before it puts we out. And now, let's be smart, don't start.